Hey, Clayton, what are you doing?
What are you talking about?
Well, welcome back to the channel. This is Henry.
This is Clay.
I have not been here for 9 years. We're here at Caulfeild Cove in West Vancouver, and we pulled out. The last time I was here was like in 2014. We did a whole bunch of dives here and pulled out about 1,500 pounds of garbage. Made the news. Global News came down and filmed me doing it and all that, the dive crew. And the reason there was so much trash in here is because when the Olympics happened back in the day, sorry about the wind noise, when the Olympics happened back in the day, the city and Port Authority kicked all of the derelict boaters out of Falls Creek for the Olympics, so to make the city look pretty. So all of the derelict boaters all came into this cove right here, right behind me, right there, and they all just hung out in this bay, little cove, and they were, according to the locals, they were drinking and all sorts of shenanigans. And so yeah, around each one of these mooring spots there were just like hundreds and hundreds of bottles, beer bottles, and like Mickey's and so on, right? So yeah, this is a beautiful little spot. There's three sunken boats in here, Clay. There's two right there, and then there's another one somewhere over here. There's little sailboats. So the problem with so Caulfeild Cove is this tiny little urban park in West Vancouver, and there's a house like right there, and there's like this house is probably worth like $6 or $8 million. There's this really narrow street. It's probably super historic. The road is called Pilot House. Yeah, it's called Pilot House. So there's probably used to be like a lighthouse situation around here somewhere. These are all super wealthy. This is a one-way street here. And the problem with like diving in like a really exclusive neighborhood like this one is like every time a car drives by, they slow down and look at me like, "What are you doing in my neighborhood?" So before we get into the dive, just another apology about the audio quality of this particular video. I'm changing my filming setup. I'm hoping to film exclusively with an iPhone, and I haven't received my lav mics yet, which has a little windsock on it, or a little dead cat, and I decided to just film with just the iPhone 14 Pro just to see what the video quality was like. So video quality was pretty good actually, but unfortunately the really high wind did a number on the audio quality, so apologies for that. So within the first minute of the dive, I found an iPhone 13 directly underneath the dock. The young man had actually dropped his phone as he was getting off his paddleboard by accident. He was really disappointed. I did manage to find him. Please wait for the end of the video to see that little interaction. So this turned out to be, I wasn't sure what this was. I thought maybe the back of a TV, but as it turned out, it kind of more looked like a vent cover. It was a real pain in the butt to swim with because obviously it offers a massive amount of drag, and it didn't have anywhere where I could actually attach like a clip to, so I can actually take it off my hand. So I just had to swim with it for a while. So I found a skateboard as well too. This was actually a long way from the dock, so somebody would have had to throw this from the dock, which is kind of disappointing. So found a couple of those little silver things were battery packs. Didn't know what they were underwater, but as it turned out later on when we looked at them on the dock, those were battery packs. A couple pairs of sunglasses, and of course, as I mentioned earlier in the video, I'm now approaching the area where these derelict boaters were hanging out, and there's an absolute ton of bottles. I've cleaned this area before, removed about 1,500 pounds of garbage in total, and haven't been back here in 9 years again, as I mentioned. And so these are some of the bottles that we missed the first time. As you can tell from the encrusted barnacles and whatever that's on the bottles, they've been there for a very long time. So at some point I had to, as I gather the weight, these glass bottles actually, when you put a few in there, it actually weighs a lot. So at some point here I had to deploy a lift bag and then pick up an item. Oh, there's a hard drive. So somebody obviously hucked that into the water. Highly unlikely that I can actually get any incriminating evidence off of the hard drive, so into the garbage it went. So there we are. Once I reached a certain amount of weight where I find it a pain in the butt to swim with the bag, I deploy the lift bag, attach bigger things, cut them all off so they were just all gathered onto one central place. So all I have to do is just basically lift the lift bag and actually swim with that instead of holding on to multiple items. So put a burp of air into the lift bag simply just to take some of the weight off of me. And as you can see here, we're starting to accumulate quite a few glass bottles. A lot of the stuff Clayton was bringing over to me. He was just slightly off to one side. He had his light on so I can actually see where he was, but it's actually really good visibility. So here we are at the end of the first portion of the dive. I shot the lift bag towards the surface and then surfaced myself, and we're pretty close to the dock as planned, and just a little surface swim hauling this lift bag with all the garbage underneath it back to the dock. And then Clayton, because he was in a wetsuit, so much easier to get out of the water, so I told him to get up on top. I unclipped one of the bags because I knew these bags were heavy. And so I clipped one of the bags, he hauled that up, and then I handed the other one to him. So I was pretty happy I didn't actually drop that while I was holding onto it. So once those trash bags were up on the dock, I told Clayton, let's go see if we can find those sailboats. I know that there's 2 or 3 boats over there, and I remember the sailboat. I don't remember what the other ones were, and eventually I did encounter an overturned little skiff. What would you call that? Rowboat? It's not really a rowboat. I guess it's a bit of a little skiff. And showed that to Clayton, and picked up some golf balls around that area, and then decided it was time to head back. This part of the dive was really shallow. I don't think we even broke 15 feet. Here we go, 14 feet of depth. Collected some golf balls and then took a compass bearing and started heading back towards the dock. That was a really fun dive. It was always good. So Clayton, as you notice, he's not free diving this time. He's actually on scuba, so that was super fun. Wow, that was a decent dive. Max depth was around 30 feet, like 27 feet, I think. 46-minute dive. Got a couple of bags of trash. Found at least one cell phone. I can't remember if there was something else too, but let's go down and see what we got. Oh yeah, we got a ladder as well too. There's some kind of a vent cover thing. Got that. All right, well, let's lay everything out. Let's see what we got. What? No way. Oh my god.
It's an octopus came out of our bottle. Look at this guy.
Oh my god, that's
He's
so
cute. We got a little stowaway in a bottle.
Back in the water he goes. Yeah, I got a little gunno right here. Back in you go. Come on, little guy. Oh, jeez. Scooch. Doink. There he goes. 1 or 2 golf balls, you say? Oh, you did get another phone, yeah. I was trying to think if you did find a phone.
Yeah, sure. Those turns out cute. Yeah, you had a pretty good day of random weird finds.
Don't let the golf balls go rolling back in the ocean.
Yeah, right? Hey, another octopus.
Really? Oh, look at that. Okay, there. Back in you go. All right. So we got, how many bottles did we get?
20, 30, 40, 50, 56, 57.
All right. 57 more bottles towards your 5,000 bottle count. And then what do we got here? We've got some golf balls, a skateboard that Clayton just tried to do a kickflip and broke in half. Man, you got to lose some weight there, buddy.
Apparently.
All right, got some golf balls, got a phone, 2. That's not bad. Well, there we go. That was a fun little dive. Thanks for coming out, Clayton. It was awesome. Where'd you go? Come back. There you are. Oh. All right, thanks so much for sticking with me for another one, guys. We'll see you in the next video. All right, so this is the phone that we found, in Caulfeild Cove, West Vancouver. You can see here it's pretty beat up. But we're going to pull the SIM card, the old SIM card trick. SIM card is nice and dry actually, so there we go. Yeah, and this is the phone that my buddy Steve, thank you so much Steve, gave me. This is an old junker phone, Android, because the SIM reader app only works with Android, does not work with iPhone. So put the SIM card into the donated phone and then hit SIM reader, the app, and let me just cover up the phone number on here, and there we go. Found it. Let's text the guy and let's we can get this phone back to this person, guy, girl, probably a guy. This is a black phone case, black phone. So this young man actually returned my text within a few minutes, and so as it turned out, and I did actually, just for, I guess, security's sake, I asked him to identify the phone, which he did, and so definitely that's his phone. I didn't end up filming the phone pickup because it kind of sounded like he was actually away in school, and so his dad came down and picked up the phone, and I didn't want to bother filming a dad. So, but there's the exchange, and he had dropped the phone as it was getting off his paddleboard, and was so disappointed. It was pretty upset actually. And as it turned out, there was some data, or there is some data on the phone that he'd like to try to recover. So I gave him the data recovery specialist back from, if you guys recall, the recovered phone with the 12,000 baby photos on it, which did work out successfully. So I gave him the information of the data recovery specialist, and hopefully it works out for him.